85? Yeah, that was the announcement. 85.
Hold on.
85.
Please be seated. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Harry Bruce, and I want to tell you I've got the best job in the world because I'm the Dean of the University of Washington Information School. Thank you. It's my great pleasure this afternoon to welcome you to the 2015 Information School Convocation. And I'd like to welcome folks who are joining us this afternoon via live streaming from locations across this country and indeed around the world who are attending our convocation remotely. Convocation is a celebration of achievement, and certainly we should begin by recognising the achievement and accomplishments of the graduates who are receiving their degrees this afternoon. That's why we are all here. For each of you graduating, this convocation and the awarding of your degree is emblematic of your aspirations and personal growth, a reward for your hard work and the raw material for your future successes. You are indeed the centre of our attention this afternoon. A round of applause again for our graduates. It's very important this afternoon that we also recognise and celebrate the fact that the personal achievement represented on stage is also the result of a great deal of support. No individual reaches significant goals in life without the support of friends and family. This support comes in many forms, of course. Financial support and emotional support, role modelling and inspiration, mentoring, encouragement, teaching. And before we begin our ceremony this evening, I'd like to ask the graduates to acknowledge the support that they have received from iSchool faculty and staff, their friends, their family, and indeed from one another. Graduates. So let's move now to our awards presentation, and to begin our awards presentation I'd like to ask Kate Hansky to come forward on behalf of our MLIS students to present the 21st Century Award. Kate Hansky is the co-president of the Association for Library and Information Science Students, and her main area of interest is in special collections and preservations. Kate.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kate Hansky, and I'm a co-president for, as Dean Bruce said, the Association of Library and Information Sciences Students, more succinctly known as ALIS. Each year, the 21st Century Award is given to a graduating online or residential MLIS student who best embodies the future of the library and information science field. The recipient is nominated and selected by their fellow students. This year, 19 of you submitted a whopping 27 nominations for your fellow students. This graduating class is inspiring, and I can tell you all have so much love and respect for one another. You truly support and lift one another up. And so the difficult job of somehow distilling all of these wonderful nominations into a final ballot with only the top 3 nominees fell to me. As a testament to how supportive this cohort is of one another, I was told last week by one of the final nominees that the 3 of them were so proud of one another that they wished to share the award amongst themselves. All 3 of the final nominees have been supportive and inspiring to their peers and have made huge contributions to the program and to the field of librarianship. So before I move on, I'd like to name and honor all 3 of those final nominees. Thank you to Megan Carlin, Twana Hodge, and Gabby Barnes for all that they have done during their time as MLIS students at the iSchool. I do, however, have to announce a single recipient. This year's recipient has been described as the epitome of the future of libraries. Words like inquisitive, gregarious, high energy, tough, smart, passionate, enthusiastic, and delightful cropped up again and again from the people who nominated her. She is community-oriented and dedicated to youth, diversity, and public service. She has been involved in what seems like every aspect of the iSchool, taking on student leadership roles for multiple student organizations, acting as a student representative for the MLIS Program Committee, and all while also working in Odegaard Library. As one nomination put it, somehow, magically, she does it all and well, and with a contagious smile and fabulous style. So, on behalf of ALIS and the MLIS student body, I am happy to announce that Gabby Barnes is the recipient of this year's 21st Century Award. And now, unfortunately, Gabby could not be present here today because she is already off to begin her work in a cutting-edge teen program. So we wish her best of luck in her future endeavors and know that she will go far. Thank you, everyone.
And now I'd like to ask Daniel Sebring to come forward on behalf of the Informatics student body to present the Eisenberg Award. Daniel is entering his senior year and is president of the Informatics Undergraduate Association. His main areas of interest are political science and information assurance and cybersecurity. Daniel.
Graduations are happy times. After spending the majority of our lives in school, it's time to move on. At this point, these graduates will have no more homework and no more finals. They'll have no more capstone and no more 6 a.m. registration. They've put in the work, and now it's time for the reward. It's time to celebrate and relax and enjoy a little time before entering the real world. It's a happy time, and yet I can't quite shake a feeling of sadness. The graduates in this room mean so much to me and the rest of the informatics first years. They've been friends and role models, peers and teachers. Thanks to their innovation and dedication, they've turned the informatics program into the powerhouse that it is today. This is the part where I would tell them to go out and change the world. But for myself and the rest of the first years, I know they already have. This award was exceptionally hard to decide, and that says something about the caliber of the graduates that we have in this cohort. So many of them have done incredible, amazing things. Ask any informatics first year, they'll have a different story, well, many stories, of a time that a second year influenced them and made an impact on their lives. They've made us feel so welcome and so empowered. They've inspired us to work hard, to set lofty goals, and to never give up. We wanted to pick the student who showed the most dedication and passion for informatics and the informatics community, both at school and outside of it. Even with all these incredible graduates, there's one who stands out. The student we chose to give this award to is a student who put in an incredible amount of time and effort into our major and was always helping out other students. He was the mastermind and organizer behind several of our most successful events and did significantly more work for informatics than any one person ever should. Over and over, this student proved his dedication and actively took on more responsibility in order to give more back. I've got a lot more to say about him, but for now, join me in giving a preliminary thank you and congratulations to Eisenberg Award recipient, Zach Balter. I knew I wouldn't be able to stop that applause. Zach is a truly one-of-a-kind individual. I consider myself incredibly lucky to know Zach and count him as a friend. A lot of first years have a Zach Balter experience, the first time they met Zach, because he so enthusiastically welcomed so many of us. I know a lot of first years, myself included, who point to Zach as the first time they really felt welcome and at home in our program. Whether he was TAing you or just in the TE lab at the same time, he was always willing to help you with an assignment or just a particularly tough problem. He guided so many first years with help and advice to make sure we got the most out of our informatics experience. I'm so lucky to have been able to work closely with Zach and learn from him this year. He's shown me the meaning of kindness, dedication, and selflessness. Thank you so much for your hard work and commitment. The informatics program and my cohort have incredible examples thanks to all of these second years. We're going to miss each and every one of you and all that you do. If you're going to be in Seattle, keep coming out to events and networking nights. And if you're moving on to less overcast pastures, stay in touch and come visit. Thank each and every one of you. You mean so much to myself and all of the informatics first years. And a very special, gigantic thank you to Zach Balter.
I did two-hand, I only have one. Thanks so much, man.
You're welcome. You deserve it. Thank you.
So now we can claim we're having a Zach Balter experience here on the stage. Zach, congratulations. I'd like now to ask Irina New to come forward on behalf of the MSIM student body to present the Archer Award. Irina New is a first-year Master of Science in Information Management student and is Treasurer of the Association of Information Management Students, or AIMS. Her main area of interest is data science. Irina.
Thank you very much, Dean Bruce. Good afternoon, and congratulations to all the graduates and their families. My name is Irina, and it is my privilege to present this year's Archer Award. The Association of Information Management, or AIMS for short, is an organization established to enrich the academic, social, and career experience of the graduate students at the information school, and especially for the Masters of Information Management program students. It is an annual tradition for AIMS to give the Archer Award for an outstanding graduating student in the program. This student must demonstrate academic excellence, organizational leadership, and deliver significant positive impact on the iSchool student body. The winner was selected based on the most numbers of votes received from their peers and will receive a small cash gift as appreciation. This year, the winner of the Archer Award is an accomplished individual who exemplifies the qualities of tenacity, curiosity, and intelligence. She has served as the valuable point of contact for prospective students and guided the development of her fellow iSchool students as a TA and a mentor. Her enthusiastic, no-nonsense personality provides an energetic voice that informs everything she does. Along with 3 other MSIM students, she created her capstone project, Bontology, which connects disparate relational databases in a triple store with a custom business ontology for the purpose of improving information sharing across Colliers International, a commercial real estate company. After graduation, she will be working as a trusted business advisor for Fortune 500 businesses in San Jose as a technology business consultant in PricewaterhouseCoopers. We wish her the best of luck and have no doubt that she will succeed in her long career ahead. The 2015 Archer Award goes to Malavika Ravi. Congratulations! So happy for you.
Thank you.
All right, congrats. Congratulations.
And now I would like to ask Professor David Hendry to come forward on behalf of the Information School faculty to present the Ruth Warden Award for Student Excellence in Library and Information Science, the Faculty Award for Student Excellence in Information Management, and the Faculty Award for Student Excellence in Informatics. Professor Hendry.
On behalf of the faculty, thank you, Dean Bruce. The recipient for this year's Ruth Warden Award for Student Excellence in Library and Information Science is Justin Meldy. Justin has been a graduate assistant in the iAffiliates program and has been a leader in the student chapter of the American Society for Information Science and Technology. He is a collaborator, a doer, and a true leader. Justin will take his degree in Library and Information Science to Avanade here in Seattle, where he will consult in data science. The recipient for this year's Faculty Award for Student Excellence in Informatics is Hillary Ann Prather. Hillary has been a high-performing student in the informatics program, often taking the lead in classroom discussions and group projects. She has a strong interest in information assurance and cybersecurity. Along with prestigious internships at Square and Microsoft, Hillary has been a lecturer for the Gender and Technology Seminar, has been a lead teaching assistant for introductory programming classes at the UW, and has volunteered with UW faculty to get local high school students interested in computing. Hillary has taken a position at Tune, a marketing analytics company just located here in Seattle. The recipient for this year's Faculty Award for Student Excellence in Information Management is Krista Davis. It's hard to think of a student who has contributed more to the Masters of Science in Information Management program than Krista Davis. Krista was the president of the Association for Information Management Students this past year. Under her leadership, the organization has been rejuvenated and strengthened. Krista has performed at a very high level academically throughout her studies and served as an outstanding teaching assistant.
And now it's my pleasure to introduce Deborah Jacobs, who will be presenting our convocation address this afternoon. Ms. Jacobs is the Director of the Global Libraries Initiative at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. The Global Libraries Initiative oversees the Foundation's work to improve the lives of 1 billion information-poor people by the year 2030. It's positioning the world's 320,000 public libraries as critical community assets and providers of information through relevant technologies. Global Libraries works to support the transformation of libraries and expand their role as engines of development in partnership with governments and other public and private funders. The aim is to expand technology access in public libraries, foster innovation in libraries, train library leaders, and advocate for policy changes that benefit public libraries. Ms. Jacobs and her team have worked in 17 countries throughout the world, including recent efforts in Colombia and Turkey, Indonesia, and South Africa. Prior to joining the foundation in 2008, Ms. Jacobs served as Seattle City Librarian for 11 years. In addition to directing the Seattle Public Library system, she led a $291 million capital improvement programs called Libraries for All. This campaign funded the construction of a new central library and renovated, built or expanded 26 branch libraries. Over Ms. Jacobs' tenure as Seattle City Librarian, the library moved forward in many areas, including her priority areas of strengthening services to immigrants and refugees, early childhood learning, teen services, and the virtual library. Ms. Jacobs also worked at the Corvallis-Benton County Library System in Oregon, the Sacramento City County Library System in California, and the Deutsch Library System in Oregon. From 1999 to 2007, she taught each spring at the iSchool, clearly a highlight of her career. And she taught focusing particularly upon public library advocacy and politics. Ms. Jacobs began her career as a children's librarian 40 years ago and has received a number of honours throughout her career. Among other recognitions, she has been named by Seattle Magazine as one of Seattle's 25 most influential people and was included as one of Governing Magazine's Public Officials of the Year in 2001, the first librarian ever to receive this honour. Ms. Jacobs' happiest moments are working to engage, build and strengthen communities. She received a BA in Government from Mills College and an MLIS from the University of Oregon. Please help me in welcoming Ms. Jacobs to the podium.
Thank you, Dean Bruce. And it was really among the highlights of my life to teach at the school. It's an honor to be your speaker today. Boy, there's a lot of you. And I'm so thrilled to be allowed to join this joyous occasion with all of you, your faculty, your friends, and your family. It's a great opportunity for me. Even most of the faculty didn't realize that this is my second time to be addressing a graduating class of the school. The first was June 1998, when I had first come to the Seattle Public Library and prior to Dean Emeritus Eisenberg arriving. You all, I hope, know the history. Thanks to Mike, the school transformed seemingly overnight. Not everyone was happy with the changes, but thanks to Mike's vision, tenacity, and absolute strength in taking the risks needed to overhaul the library school into our iSchool. His is a history to be, I'm not going to cry, admired. And I do, Mike, and all of you that made that journey with him. And although not an alum, I do believe that the iSchool is my school. But the iSchool isn't the only thing that changed. The world has changed in stunning ways. In preparing for today, I looked at my comments from 17 years ago and started to think about what had changed and what had stayed the same. Obviously, the world of information has changed dramatically. In 1998, approximately only 30% of the public libraries in the US were connected to the internet. Even at the Seattle Public Library, we were just getting graphical interface on our computers, and all of us worried about not only wiring, but where would we get the furniture to put the computers on. Of course, you, the graduates, with your wisdom and amazing education, know better than anyone about online information and how access points have exploded. As I've seen, especially in the last 9 years, access to information grows more and more essential to living a healthy and productive life. I believe that there is no time better than now to be part of the library and information sciences. Right now, people desperately need not only information and technology, but skilled navigators and leaders. And there is nobody better suited to do this work than all of you. Today, you're graduating from a school that helped you build the skills needed that you need to thrive and lead in the digital age. I can tell you it was a great investment, even though I didn't teach here, of your time and money. Thank you all for what you've done. So now that you're graduating with the ability to lead in the digital age, what is your responsibility? First, a bit of my background so you'll know where I'm coming from as I share my advice. I was born when my mother was 18, and she raised me with the values and beliefs that each day I should work toward making the world a better and more equal place for all. My mother didn't have the opportunity for much or for any formal education herself, but she was firm her firstborn would go to college. Throughout my life, she took me to political rallies, campaign headquarters, to stuff envelopes, and to her volunteer job at Head Start, which continues to be one of the longest-running programs attempting to address the effects of systematic poverty in the United States. In college, for me, it all came together. I realized that if I truly wanted to serve the people and build community, it should be through public libraries. I instinctually knew then what I've come to say all over the world to people like you. There is nothing more revolutionary than being a librarian. Wearing my hat as a fighter for social justice, I believe that all of you have a responsibility, and in my opinion, even an obligation, to use the skills that you've gathered here for social good, using access to information to fight inequity in all forms. The degrees you're getting aren't about the kind of job that you're going to get or the profession that you enter, but about how you use these gifts to change the world through access to information. With the hope that you will live your values through your work and use your knowledge for the public good, I have 3 thoughts to share with you that I hope will make you better leaders in the digital age. Lesson 1, always realize the ripple effect you have and the impact that you can make globally. My values, as I hoped was true and as I found from reading my speech, haven't changed in the last 17 years. But what has changed for me is my understanding of how large the world is and an understanding of the role that I play in it. It's much easier for me to see this now that I've been the director of the Gates Foundation's library program. But while I was at the Seattle Public Library, even though I was unaware of it, I was having an impact globally. As I've traveled around the world, people have stopped me and talked to me about the construction of Seattle's downtown library and how that became a vision for people in their countries, and especially for them. Librarians from Poland to Indonesia have shared their stories of success in making bolder, riskier choices, both in building design, but more importantly, in their interaction with public officials, inspired by our work in Seattle. The risks we took in Seattle have rippled out and given others strength. This makes me proud. The second lesson is to be the best leader and always act as a mentor. It's also important to be humble and open to being mentored yourself. I've been lucky enough in my career to have people reach out and care for me throughout my 40-year career. Who I am is very specifically due to their advice and teachings. I know this made me a better person and leader along the way. And many of the people, and I know they know it because I remind them, sitting on the stage are among my mentors. And it's all circular. In my career, I have now seen people and students from the school who I've been able to mentor and who now have turned the table and are my mentors, helping me navigate in my new information global village. The third lesson, which I've been talking about throughout, is the most important to me, and that's to be bold and take risks. The best leaders take risks, even though on occasion they're going to fail. They're willing to fail. And they understand something I've learned, that failure isn't the end of the world. In fact, as I've heard from many others, failure often teaches them more than success. In my tenure as city librarian in both Corvallis, Oregon, and Seattle, I've continually tried to diversify my book collections. Not a radical idea, I thought. In Oregon in 1994, I and other librarians in the state faced a ballot measure prohibiting government expenditures that might endorse or promote homosexuality. We took the risk and fought hard for this measure to be defeated, and it was. But despite the recognition now and the accolades we received as freedom fighters, we also received serious personal threats from those who disagreed, including a bomb threat that came to my home. But I wouldn't have done anything differently. In Seattle, not expecting it was risky, not here, we expanded our services to immigrants and refugees. Even here, I was publicly, verbally attacked more than once by people complaining about using government funds to serve people who don't speak English. 2 of my library colleagues in the United States and other cities either quit their jobs or were fired over diversifying their collections with books in Spanish. Being bold means sticking by what you believe, whether it's following a practical approach to solving a problem or thinking outside the box. Either way, it means following your instinct regardless of the circumstance. So with these 3 thoughts, think about your impact globally, always act as both a mentor and mentee, and always be willing to be bold and take risks. I urge you to be a leader in your own life. However you plan to use your degree, follow your values. For me, my life has been about using these lessons to fight inequity. In my work at the Foundation, I have seen women in other countries like Botswana and Nepal who, like my mother, lack a formal education. But I've seen them better themselves and the lives of their families through the information they got at public libraries. This has been my life's work. I hope you find your own calling and are able to live your values through whatever work you do. Thank all of you, and congratulations to all of you.
Thank you, Deborah. And now that you're comfortable back in your chair, I'm going to ask you to come back up to the podium so we can present you with a small token of our gratitude. This is on behalf of the students of the iSchool. We want to thank you for your inspirational presentation. We want to thank you for your life's work. And I want to thank you for the many messages that came through your presentation, but the one that I heard the loudest was seeking social justice through information work. You are a wonderful mentor and role model for all of our students. Thank you for your presentation today. So now we get to the moment of recognising candidates for the several degrees offered by the Information School. They'll be presented by the chairs of each program. We're going to begin with our PhDs, and so I'll ask Professor Adam Moore, Chair of the PhD program, to please present your candidates.
My foot fell asleep there. Will the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy and Information Science please rise? Dean Bruce, it gives me great pleasure to present these graduates of our doctoral program.
On behalf of the entire Information School family, I congratulate you. All of us on the faculty know the years of commitment, hard work and sacrifice that are necessary to complete a doctoral program. We're very proud of you, and we know you'll have successful and joyful careers. We will take this moment to acknowledge each of our candidates individually. So I'd like to ask Carol Landry and her advisor, Professor Karen Fisher, to come forward so Karen can invest Carol with her doctoral hood. The title of Carol's dissertation is The Impacts of Time Pressure and Emotion on the Information Behaviour of High-Stakes Decision Makers. And this relates to the home buying experience. I think many of us have experienced the pressures and emotions of that. You've got a dissertation to read by the sound of things. Now this is for the, yes please. So, after Carol's photograph, Carol will sign the Book of Graduates, as will all candidates this evening. I would like to ask David Willer's advisor, Emeritus Professor Mike Eisenberg, to come forward. David. The title of David's dissertation is Targeting Success, an evaluation of information literacy standards, a mixed method approach utilising the judgments of National Board certified teachers. Congratulations to David. I would now like to ask Bryce Newell's advisor, Adam Moore, to come forward with his committee member, Bhatia Friedman, to award Bryce Newell with his PhD. The title of Bryce's dissertation is Transparent Lives and the Surveillance State, Policing, New Visibility and Information Policy. Congratulations, Bryce. And I'd like to ask Michael Lee and his advisor, Professor Andy Coe, to come forward. Michael's dissertation is entitled Teaching and Engaging with Debugging Puzzles. Congratulations, Michael. And now I'd like to ask Professor Julie Keynes and Jared Bauer to come forward. The title of Jared's dissertation is Relating Interfaces, Adaptive Interfaces to Accommodate Users, Context and Perspective. Congratulations, Jared. You've just been witnessing how many PhDs it takes to put a robe on another PhD. Please join me in congratulating all of our PhD graduates. I'd like to now ask Professor Joe Janes to please present your candidates.
Would the candidates for the master's degree in Library and Information Science please rise? Dean Bruce, it is with unbounded joy and supreme confidence that I unleash these future leaders of the information world into an unsuspecting world.
So, on behalf of the Information School, I congratulate each of you on the effort and dedication you have shown in completing your degrees. Please be seated until you are conducted to the stage to be hooded and recognised personally.
Daniel Schrader. Carissa McLaughlin. Holly K. Herndon. Myrna Cruz Lessinger. Christy Calhoun. Anina Marie Wise-Lochner. Thielen Colette Plotz.
Megan Barnes.
Megan Barnes. Got it. Courtney Ann Barrick. Got it. Katie Wilson. Got it. Callie Morrison. Got it. Anne Vonamy. I'll do my best. Stephanie Ramsey. Suzanne Ledoux. Sarah Wong. Suchi Castagnoli Rochin. Tawana Hodge. Mildred Berringer. Billy Boyd. Tess Wilder Cervantes. Riley Marie Curran. Meg Beatty. Christopher Setzer. Sarah Elaine Leslie. Stephanie Therese Macklin. Justin Meldy. Centera Orwig. Amy Cynthia Kirsch. Danielle Gaiman. Jody Myers. Jennifer Lily Lamb. Nancy Abodanza. Camille Davidson. Lisa Lynn Longmire. Okay. Stacy Wyatt. Jonathan Long Lin. Heather Welch. Jesse Stanley. Liesl Jackson Case. Katie M. Burke. Chelsea Ann Pemberton. Jessica Jones. Annie Barbara Roberts Westcott. Brent Eric Wilson. Travis C. M. Clark. Kimberly K. Gorman. Azusa Higashigawa. Lauren Marie Welch. Chen Chen Wang. Anthony Ambrose. In Sun Chung. Stephanie Chu. Lydia Cavan Bello. J. Beth Lytle. Megan Christine Carlin. Thomas Pfeiffer. Heather Newcomer. Elena Colleen Bull. Catherine Lee Curtis. Rebecca May Brothers. Bouchard. Catherine Bouchard. Sarah Kunze Bliss. Bobby Joe DeMontney. Catherine Grand George. Elizabeth Farrell. Mantra Roy Astana. Julie B. Zunker. Eva Grutkova. Adriana Yocheva. Sarah Nicole Hoover. I will now read the names of those students who are unable to attend but are joining our celebration online with their families and friends from across the nation, and because it's the iSchool, from around the world. Andrea Genevieve Barkley. Gabriel Barnes. Michelle Barron. Sarah Bavier. Jessica Blanchard. Kellen Suzanne Carpenter. Bernice Chang. Karen Chen. Dunette Brace Colleen. Terry Chrysotoma. Amanda Demeter. Jamie Elster. Jennifer Foyt. Tiana Finney. Greg Fry. John Fuller. Rebecca Greer. Yo Hao Guo. Libby Savage Hopfoff. Lauren Hubener. Jennifer Kern. Brittany Kilborn. Athea Meredith. Kimberly Eileen Neer. Benjamin Galway Peterson. Amy Peterson. An Fan. Ariel Rosenstock. Holly Sonnelund. Joel Steinprice. Cynthia Scott Traeger. Nick Thorpe. Vanessa Velez. Andrew Weaver. Alyssa Weller. And Hope Yates.
And now I'd like to ask Associate Dean Matthew Saxton to come forward and present your candidates. Matthew.
On behalf of Professor Hazel Taylor, it gives me great pleasure to now invite the candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Information Management to please rise.
On behalf of the Information School, I congratulate each and every one of you on the effort and dedication you've shown in completing your degrees. Please come forward to be hooded and recognised personally.
Excellent. Okay, here we go. All right.
I'm just wondering what they've got. This is, yeah, misprint.
You would scoot over.
It's this one.
All right. Byung Huang. Okay, just wait here. Jie Shu. Jikai Shu. Yuming Chu. Chenglu Chai. Colin Green. Michael Kelly. Pranali Gite. Maulik Mishra. Brooke Renee Bribois. Helen Y. Mack. Jill Schulze. Jorge Borunda. Pavani Piduro. Karina Jane. Reisha Mansrekar. Aloka Krishnan. Akila Chitiprolu. Anupuma Garimela. Niveta Chandran. Loma Desai. Zai Shirke. Shweta Bola. Mudra Ladani. Xiao Tong. Chen Tru. Xinyu Zheng. Wenjing Yang. Jia Ming. Zijiang Xian. Hao Yu Liu. Weining Gu. Amol Kaur. Ajinkya Gore. Nashita Kaur. Nishant Navin Shana. Nihar Sangvi. Shaker Parkey. Yuting Lu. Z Sun. Yang Yu. Hong Yu Chu. Men Tru Chiang. Xiao Wei Zhen. Li Tian O. Menlin He. Li Fei Li. Ishan Corday. Pragati Singh. Niketan Kapila. Aman Sinha. Nikhil Devlakar. Ajmal Ali Hanif. Shi Lin.
And Heather M. Bramer.
Heather M. Bramer. Kirtika Dattatre. Jason Daniel Smith.
Easy enough.
Kenny Lee. Andrew Magnuson.
You got it.
Patrick Michael McCall. Isoxicha Ross Brain. Matthew Christian. Deborah Frost. Brian W. Smith. Catherine Augustine. Chris Tomasovich Nelson. Arpita Kulkarni. Rutul Shirsagar. Nishant Sinha. Abhaya Potina. Sanchit Agarwal. Jay Kirth Isfaran. Prerak Pradhan. Chandran Mudliar. Edward Wynn. Bhargav Shah. Elton Diaz. Tanmay Modak.
Thank you.
Ilham Bentahar. Faye Go. Victor Mingdao Lee. Okay. Malavika Minra Lini Ravi. Krista Nicole Davis. Vatsal Kirit Mehta. Warun Darak. Or how do you want to say?
AK, just AK. That's perfect.
Okay. AK.
Could we have another round of applause for our graduating MSIM students? And now it gives me great pleasure to ask Mr. Scott Barker to please present his candidates.
You skipped a page. You skipped a page.
Yeah, but no, this is... You see, even deans can't read a script properly. Scott, you just have to hang back there for a moment. I'm asking Professor Adam Moore to please come forward and present his candidate.
Thanks, Harry. So would the candidate for the degree of Master of Science in Information Science please rise? Dean Bruce, it gives me great pleasure to present this candidate, Sean Patrick Fuller, for the MSIS degree.
So, Sean, on behalf of the Information School, I congratulate you on the effort and dedication you've shown in completing your degree. And you see, Sean's already anticipated me. He's such a highly qualified candidate, and he's come forward to be hooded and recognised. Congratulations again, Sean. And now a moment that you've been anticipating for the last couple of months. We're going to ask Mr. Scott Barker to please come forward and present his candidates.
Would the candidates for the Bachelor of Science in Informatics please rise? Dean Bruce, it gives me great pleasure to present these amazingly awesome candidates.
Not just amazing, not just awesome. We now have amazingly awesome. On behalf of the Information School, I congratulate each and every one of you on the hard work and dedication that you've shown in completing your degrees. Please come forward to be recognised personally.
Adam Mushkatel. Matthew Hutcherson. Megan Marie Francis Raleigh. Xavier Bird. Jose Danny Gonzalez. Kevin Lee. Mitchell Douglas Klein. Ang Lee. Louisa Fan. Michelle X. Lay. David William Phillips III. Laura Tuck. Christine Colleen Hill. Jesselyn Chang. Andrew C. Bending. Christopher Domingo. Samuel Wambach. David Gutierrez. Brett Yamada. Thomas Fan. Sherry Sue. Stefan Hellman. Jacob S. Gilmore. Henry Donaldson Chipmunk. Patrick Brady. Michael Krolzik. Gantulga Balgan. Patrick Chiang. Cam Scotland. Chris Tung. Philip Rudio. Stephen Joseph Ramirez. Marissa Ho. Jennifer Maurer. Elliot Keeter. Hudson James Poisson. Sean Allen. Ted Tagami. Kevin Sang. Willie Tang. Alyssa Martin. Evan Griffith. Jordan Smith. Rama Gokali. Yulia Baran. Austin Gebauer. Amber Amin. Kyle Peterson. Hillary Prather. Lily Dwyer. Laura Ann McFarland. Oscar Wong. Jerisa Lumansak. Nicole Raimondo. Joshua Morton Edwards. Jacob Grossman. Wesley Wolonsky. James Proud. Alexander Gearhart Berner. Michael John Slagle. David Wu. Christina Lee. Victoria Hu. Kevin Yang. Stephen Radin. Cassidy Gaydon. Victoria Baxter. Kevin O'Hare. Rebecca Ferguson. Julie Claudette Wiederhold. Robbie Brosman. Gino Clement. Daniel Nakamura. Savitan Damyanov. Zachary Dylan Balter. Ashley Retzloff. Isaac Queck. Midori Mori. Azri Azmi. Howard Lynn. Luan Chuang. Sen Yang. Shengyao Chen. Preston Dizzle Dang. Wei Chung Warner Chen. Lena Thatch. Nicholas Clausen. Kyle Buckman. Come on. Zachary Kamara. Nina Dang. Tuvshin Tulga. Troy Griffiths. Eric Frank Chi. Wendy Suchan Kung. Fardos Mohammed. Jennifer Liu. Caleb Kim. Yichen Wu. Zachary Verbeck. Marco Vertucci. Chris Jimenez. Gabriela Nikolova. Ahmed El Kholi.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as we close this convocation, I think it's clear to all of you that the Information School is about making a difference in the world. We do this through our academic and research programs and our service to professional and scientific communities. This community of graduating students and those who have gone before and will graduate in the future are the instruments of our impact on the world. Through their good work, based upon what they have learned and the values and principles of professional practice that we espouse, the world is made better. So this convocation, like all others, is a symbol of hope and optimism and a belief in a very bright future. I'd like to thank Dewell, Eugenio and Curry Brothers for overseeing, organising and orchestrating the many details required to celebrate this convocation today. I'd also like to thank Ashley Choi, who did a lot of the event planning logistics, Zach Keys, who produced the program, and all the student services staff for their hard work today, along with the many iSchool staff who volunteered to help us make this wonderful and memorable event for our graduates. Thank you. And finally, this strange assortment of gaily dressed individuals on the stage. I'd like to thank our faculty colleagues who work tirelessly to the service of the educational and research mission of our school. Thank you, faculty. So before closing our convocation, a reminder to all of those of you, friends and family sitting in the audience, please remain seated until the recessional is complete, and then of course you can rejoin your graduates in the foyer. To our graduates, we use the words community and family a lot to describe your relationship with the Information School. Our connection to you is very, very important. And we want you to keep this in mind as you move forward into the future. Always do good work and above all stay in touch with your school. Before we close this ceremony, I have 3 individuals that I would like to honour on the stage. I'd like Cheryl Matoya and Mike Crandall and Nancy Gershenfeld to stand up. This afternoon, I would love to honour our 3 colleagues standing. They are all retiring from the Information School. We had a wonderful retirement celebration last week to honour many, many years of service to the school. These 3 individuals are master teachers, and they are accomplished researchers and scholars, and they've made a tremendous commitment to our students and to our colleagues within the University of Washington campus and to the information professions. They've had a profound impact on our lives. They represent a body of work that has changed the field across a long period of time. Of course, they're all very old because they're retiring, so it's been a very long time. I'm keeping this brief because I don't want them to fall over. But I'd like to honour them in a particularly unique way, an iSchool way. In the iSchool, we like, at most events, to have the audience and students and faculty and staff call out at the tops of their voices, "The iSchool is my school." Hear, hear. And at the end, we do a little of what the students just did. We do a wahoo. Now, if there's anyone in the audience that's unsure of what that is and how to do it, I'd like to ask another colleague of mine to stand, Dean Emeritus, Professor Emeritus Michael Eisenberg. Now, Dean Emeritus Michael Eisenberg is also retired, but we can't seem to get rid of him. You see him on the stage this evening. He's a very timid man, very, very understated, and so we're trying to bring him out of his shell, and tonight I'm going to ask him to demonstrate the wahoo that comes at the end of the I School is my school. Mike, let us have it. Wahoo! Yes, perfect. Still an inspiration and visionary leader, Professor Eisenberg showed you how to do it. Now, the students already know you're learning, but this is your big opportunity to contribute to the event today. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and after 3, you're going to let these 3 retirees have it from the front. The students will be doing the same from the back. They'll be trying to blow them off the stage and you'll be trying to rescue them. Are we ready? Yes? 1, 2, 3. The I School is my school. Woohoo! Cue the band. Matthew.